Welcome to Hear What I'm Saying, where we dive deep into the stories and experiences behind our relationship with our hair. I'm your host, Kenitra. In today's episode, we have a special guest joining us. She's the founder of I Bless Faces and a passionate advocate for embracing natural beauty. Please welcome Nia Ford as we explore her journey from struggling with her natural hair to becoming a fierce advocate for self-love and empowerment. Welcome to the Hear What I'm Saying podcast. I'm your host, Kenitra Stewart. Today we have a very special guest joining us, Nia of I Bless Faces. Welcome.
Hey guys, hey, and suck passé for my Haitian girls.
Girl, what does that mean?
It means what's up.
It's
like what's up, what's good, what's happening.
All right. When you were a child, how did your parents discuss or talk about your hair? Was it anything derogatory or?
First, I grew up in a single parent household.
Okay.
And both my father was in Louisiana and my mom was in Texarkana. So
okay.
I don't necessarily remember derogatory statements from my mom, but
Good.
my aunt.
That's her sister or your dad's sister?
Her sister. I remember her making a comment one time, and she was like, "You need to do something with your hair because it always looks like a bird nest."
And you were natural at this time.
Oh yeah.
This when you were younger, like a kid.
Yeah, I was like a kid.
Can you do something as the child?
I mean, put it in a ponytail. At that time, like my mama kind of gave us free range to kind of like start putting our hair in ponytails and experimenting because you know, like the rite of passage where you have to like learn to take care of your hair.
Right. Okay.
So I was of that age, but. Yeah, no, just like, you know, like, what is it? Like, I love big hair. A lot of time, like, I love big hair. Anybody's ever done my hair or like when I put in like my clip-ins, I just love really, really, really big hair. And I just always thought it was really beautiful. So I'm going to wear this fro.
And she wanted you to tame it.
Yeah, she did.
So anything else she would say would just be kind of that?
I'm trying to really think. So as a kid growing up, I always wanted my mom's texture.
How was her texture?
Very wavy. So very loose, very wavy. And me and my sister have very similar textures. But my mom had this really nice, and you would always hear the comments of like good hair. Yeah. Like, oh, you got some really good hair. Like, oh, you got some pretty hair. Like that's what
the texture.
They would tell it to my mom. And she's at this time she was a lighter complexion. As people age, things happen to their skin. So, and then I have a grandmother. Her mother, I don't want to say. She's mixed with something. I don't know what the something is, but it's evident in her features. It's evident in how her hair is. It's evident in her skin color, her eye color, and so forth. Like, grandma was a baddie back in the day. And she really was. Like, she looked like Maya, the singer.
Oh, okay.
So, like, just real light skin, and she's like beautiful woman. And
especially in Louisiana, that's like, back then the idea, light skin, wavy hair, that whole thing, honey.
Yeah, like she looked like she was Creole, even though she's not from there, but she looked, you know, like she could have something in her. So like when you hear those comments of like people praising my mom for how her hair was, and then my hair never looked like that, never formed like that. So to be honest, technically our hair was heat damaged or heat trained, as people like to say, because we were getting hot combs and so it was never in its legitimate natural state. It never. So growing up, I never even knew what my hair looked like outside of a hot comb or a blow dry being stretched or anything like that. So I had no idea what it looked like.
Okay. And she was like the only one, no one, like siblings.
No, my aunt had dreads. So my aunt is my skin complexion, and she has locks. Like her hair is completely different. My grandmother had 4 children, and 2 of them, like my mother and her brother, they have very lighter complected features. Like their hair was different. My uncle has like bluish grayish eyes or something like that. They're not typical brown. And then my other aunt and uncle, they just look like regular black folk.
Oh, okay. They don't, so a good little mixture of everything. A good blend. All right, cool. Do you feel the words of your aunt, do you feel like it shaped some unhealthy emotional connections to your hair back then, or?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like absolutely.
How? to say that my hair looks in lack of a better term unkempt, when I when I tell you I loved how big my hair was, made me feel like, well, like if maybe I need to make it smaller. So through high school, went through that whole like blonde straight hair.
You have freedom to really do what you want to do with your hair.
I did.
Yeah,
I did. And I decided to simulate to the beauty standard.
The blonde, which is why you did the blonde
straight. We, like just making it long and so forth.
How did your aunt feel about the new transition? Did she ever say something about that?
No, not necessarily. No, I think at this time, we weren't in this space in time close. And,
okay.
So I mean, like I saw her, but growing up, the relationship at one point was really close. I loved it. I loved hanging out with my aunt. Like I would go with her to her Buddhist meetings and stuff, to spend time with her.
Okay. Yeah.
To spend time with her. But then at this time, not necessarily, like we weren't as close, so I wasn't spending qualitative time with her, like any type of quality time.
So
with
you
her.
didn't have to hear those derogatory comments. It's good. It's not good, but being that it was only one person, because I hear from siblings, aunts, uncles, moms, dads, it's like, you can't breathe without someone talking about the texture of, a kinkier pattern opposed to others, so it's good, but not good. You only had to receive it from one.
Just one. I just think maybe for her, she wanted me to look presentable, but
that's what they call presentable.
And again, that's just assimilating to a standard in corporate America, that our natural hair in its natural state, its natural form is not acceptable in those places.
And it's crazy how we can understand emotionally, like that's not acceptable. But for some reason, like our parents, aunts, uncles, they gravitate to it with no issues. Like, yeah, you need to do your hair like that.
That's because of how they were raised. Times are a lot different. My grandmother, like when I hear the stories, and some of the practices and some of the things that they were taught, and I'm just like, wow. I'm so glad I was not born in that time. But just some of the things that they faced, and like my aunt shared a lot in her journey in living in Louisiana. My grandmother was being raised in Chicago. Like we weren't even raised to say yes and no, ma'am, because of what that
where
meant.
it comes from. It's just yes and no.
Yes. yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm just glad we're not there. So for them, it's just different, and some of them are a little more open now. Thank God. Like some of them are
kind of had to force it on them. It's like, well, this is my hair. Like, if you don't like it, oh well. Yes. So what inspired you to go back natural after your, I feel like you had like a really great experience trying out different things to be in the space of this is where I want to be. Because when you try out more things, you discover exactly where you want to be.
Yes.
So what inspired it?
The growth of self. So when I decided that this go around, if I'm letting me grow my hair out, that it was going to be a journey, that my hair was going to be a reflection of the growth within myself.
Gotcha.
And so part of that is taking care of yourself and and when you take care of you inside, it shows up on the outside. And then also like hair care is part of taking care of yourself, like proper grooming and so forth. So it was that, because I was just like, trying out all the different colors, all that. So I had that initial reaction, and then I was just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and let it grow out. So I went and I let it grow out and got the green cut off. And then that's when I was just like, okay, here we are. Like, this is it. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and allow it to start growing out and be a reflection of who I am. And let's just do this journey together. So it has definitely not been an easy walk, though.
No, it's not.
It has not been an easy walk. by any means necessary. Again, to reiterate what I said earlier, I've only known my hair and it's quote unquote heat trained. And even when I did try the natural post in my 20s, I was putting color on it. So I've never I've been, I don't know, I can't necessarily count the years now. 6 years or so. 5, 6 years. No color. There's no color to my hair. I'm not overly manipulating it, none of that. I'm just taking it as it is. And there have been moments that I've cried.
Share some of that.
Literally.
In those moments, what were you feeling? What were you going through?
Defeated. I didn't feel that my hair was beautiful, pretty, acceptable, any of those things.
At what part in your journey did you feel that way?
In the beginning, when it first started growing out, it was at that really funky stage, and I really couldn't do much with it, and I was just I don't like this, and I toyed with the notion of just getting it cut back off and just wearing a taper. And I remember sitting in the bathroom trying to get my hair to cooperate. So at the time, one of my friends at the time, I was staying with her and her husband, and she is a licensed cosmetologist and a licensed cosmetology instructor, and she really helped. She was kind of the saving grace in the journey in the beginning of the process.
That's good. You got lucky.
I did. I got really blessed. Yeah. She came in with all this stuff, and she was like, "Well, try this on your hair and try this." And she was like, "All you got to do is define your curls." And because I swear, I literally looked like a little fuzzy tennis ball, and I was like, I don't like this. I literally was in there crying.
Yeah.
Okay. My big old stuff in there boohooing, and I was just like, I can't. I just can't. I want to relax here. I cannot do this. And she was like, you just have to be patient. You have to learn the styles that work with the growth.
Absolutely.
And so even now I can get frustrated. Well, not so much now at 30 going on 31, but 27, 28, 29, it was still some frustration. Before I started seeing a beautician on a regular basis, I didn't think my hair was growing because it literally looks the same length.
Yeah, when it's in its curly state.
Yes. And I was so frustrated with that because my cousin made a comment, and she was just she made a comment about the growth of my hair, and she was like, I just think you're just doing too much with it. And I was just like, shut up. I'm being honest. I was and thinking in my head, I was just like, shut up. Because her hair, we kind of went natural around the same time, and her hair is long, it's just growing at a rapid pace, and mine's, I'm not physically seeing the growth. It literally, in its curly state, in the past couple of years, it's been the same length. Yeah. Literally an inch and a half. Yeah. Maybe not even an inch. I don't think this is an inch and a half. Maybe just an inch.
Yeah, an inch and a half in different places, depending on,
Yes. And it's
depending on how much stretch.
Yes.
In the certain areas, yeah.
And that was it. And so I was like, okay, well, my hair not gonna grow. Then what? I might as well.
What am I doing?
Yes. Yeah. And it's just, and I would be like, because my hair as a kid was never like this, and da da da.
Yeah.
And even when I got it bleached and all of that, but that also manipulates the curl pattern. So technically, I guess it's natural, but not really, because it had chemicals on it, right? If
curly hair, yeah.
So it definitely changed the pattern of the curls.
It loosened it.
Yes. And so I'm just so what's happening? Why is my hair not growing? Yeah. So then I started going to the salon in Round Rock called 2911.
Yes, indeed. And shout out Miss Tiffany.
Go
ahead and throw that Instagram handle on here real quick.
Yes. The healthy hair coach. And the 2911, the salon. It was a saving grace. I got in her chair. And, she takes really good care of my hair, because I've actually had one hairstylist, and I will not say her name.
No.
I won't say her name.
Don't say
we're
that
not We're not going to give her that power, but she made a very derogatory comment about my hair.
What was it?
what exactly was it? It was something. Honestly, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember her disposition. I remember her body language, and I remember like the tone.
Walk us through it,
and how
like the disposition and
she was just
like the aura.
It was
pretty
kind of
much
like disgust in a sense. Like her face was kind of frowned.
Was she a natural hair specialist?
I don't know if she was a natural hair specialist, but she was a cosmetologist.
Okay.
And she was like, this is before I got married. Was it before? No. I mean, this was way before I met my husband at the time that this particular incident happened.
Right.
But when I got engaged and they saw that I was getting married, they made the comment that she was like, you know, if you want your hair done for your wedding, I can do it. And I was just like, no, because it was like, because I remember her touching my hair, and it was the way she touched it. I had like did a braid out or whatever, and like, again, this is me and my journey, so I did like a braid out, and she was just like, she said something real snarky, and she, you know how like when you hold something that's like wet and you was like, ew, gross, it was like that, and I was just like, no,
this ain't gonna be a good fit.
This not you could never. And then I 100% stand by that. Hair has, it's energy. I mean, it holds energy because energy is transferable. We want to look at the scientific terms. It does, and so you have to be very mindful. So I was very cautious about picking somebody to do my hair, and Tiffany was highly recommended, and I went, and I loved it. I think we did a flat twist, and so I could do like a twist out, and I was like, oh, I love this, and I love the fact that she's patient with me as I'm being patient with my hair, and of course I want to try new things. Yeah. But we talk. She's got my hair so healthy, like so healthy. Yeah. And I'm just like, wow. I ain't, like, I'm here. Let me go book my appointment like every time, and I appreciate it. Yeah, so much.
That's all it takes sometimes is somebody, that understands the journey emotionally and mentally that you're on, and also understand how to take care of natural hair. And that's why I was inquiring about, the previous stylist. Like, was she a natural hair care specialist? Because usually you'll receive that aura energy.
At some point, she decided to become one.
Okay, because usually you'll receive that energy from a stylist who don't specialize in it, and because they don't know what to do, so they're gonna project that energy on you, and it has nothing to do with your hair. It's her not feeling confident in delivering. That's it.
That's all, folks. Yeah.
Did you experience any natural hair depression on your new journey?
Absolutely. I absolutely did. Mm-hmm. It was a combination of grief, anger, and self-acceptance.
Come on, you gotta elaborate.
Absolutely. So I just had to grieve the vision of a beauty standard that was unrealistic during this journey. Let's be honest, okay? Yeah. Because first, let's talk about the lack of representation for 4C hair. Yeah. Let's address that. There was not and still isn't that much representation, but the time that I started there absolutely was none. When I started, absolutely none. And so when you're seeing these YouTube tutorials on how to do these natural styles and my hair not turning out like that, devastated. Okay?
Because the process,
the products, the time. I done went to Sally's. I done spent $120 getting the foam rollers, getting this foam, getting that, getting this product, trying this, and it like the trial and error. I've wasted probably thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Yeah. And so like really just having to grieve that it was just a false sense of self that, of something unachievable. So being able to accept, okay, my hair is not like their hair. Right. Yeah. So what do we do with it? How do we take care of it? How do we love it? How can we love ourselves with this hair in this moment? And just being angry from the disappointment, and then being angry at not necessarily at myself, but like, it's kind of, I don't know how to necessarily explain the wave of emotion, because they would all kind of hit like waves, like on an ocean. So you kind of get hit with them all at the same time, but being disappointed, but being angry because it didn't turn out right, like being frustrated and being sad because you would never like, that's not your story. That's not your story, and that's never going to be it. And so, and then the fact that there's so much lack of representation, why I think that podcasts like this matter is so that the conversations can be had around that. Because I mean, outside of Lupita Nyong'o, who came out,
yes, indeed,
I hope I said her name right, but she came out, you know, and it's just like, wow, somebody that finally looks like me in the sense of hair. Like, she's a beautiful, like natural hair.
Lord have mercy.
It looks like my hair, so we're starting to see it, but still in that same sentence, the problem is, it's not a problem. I wouldn't call it a problem. She's black, but she's not Black American.
Okay, like of African.
Yes. And so that's...
So how? What do you mean by that?
And sense of, like, I love to see it, but it's just like, I wish that there were more people that, like, grew up here.
Okay.
And I had that representation still. It's not that often.
Because she didn't grow up with that mentality.
Exactly.
That's right. Yep.
Exactly. And so, you know... My husband being of literally
he is African, right?
African, from Zimbabwe, and it's funny because we have conversations around my hair all the time, and he made a joke one time, and I took it so offensive, and because his sisters wear their hair natural and all that, and he like made a joke, but it was in Shona, his native tongue. And he didn't know that I was struggling with the image of myself with this hair. And so when it was told to me in English, I was like, that really hurt my feelings.
What was it?
It was like something. It's like my hair was like kale, like dried kale or something like that. I don't like, literal translation from Shona to English is a little choppy, but it was something like that. And then his sister, my sister-in-law, was like, I don't know. She was like, she's like, you really shouldn't. It's not really, it's a joke. Like, you know, you kind of joke with family stuff, but this is also the time me and my husband just started dating. So I'm still learning. Right. And, you know, it was a joke, and it wasn't meant to be insult, and he did apologize for it. And then, but my sister-in-law, she was like, your hair is like is like really, really soft. Like, you know, like, so I wouldn't take it as an insult because your hair is like really, really soft. And I was like, but you know, I
still heard what I heard, and I still feel how I feel.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. You know, now, it's crazy because in my husband's love story with me, he talks about how I was natural. My hair was in its natural state, and I was the most beautiful woman in the world. And like, he loves my hair, like absolutely loves. If I go to him and I'll be like, I want to put color in it, or you know, I'm thinking about this, you should see his face, like the immediate disapproval from him. Like, he'll start saying like some little things that's shown, and he'll be like, but you cannot touch my hair. He calls it his hair, and I think that that's beautiful and all, but I would really love to see more African Americans with 4C hair like surface
embracing
in media, in media and social media, TV, and so forth.
Because it's always altered in some kind of way.
Yes,
it is, amongst us for sure.
Yes, it is, and I think and then within the depression, you would go on YouTube and say, hey, I'm looking for 4C, but the girlies were never really 4C girlies. Let's be realistic. Never.
No.
I'd be like, nah.
They had some looseness, more looseness.
CA. I mean, AB, BA. Yeah, y'all are not. Y'all may be a 3C. You may be a good 4B, but you're not a 4C. Like, you're not a 4C.
Like that really kinky tight, like how it like literally shrinkage. You'll never know the length unless you stretch it out.
Yeah, that's not y'all. Because even when it's wide, like, you can see like how loose and wavy. I'm just like, y'all not 4C.
So yeah, and that's the thing about that curl pattern chart. That's why I don't believe in it, because it really is misleading. And when you get on YouTube and you have these influencers, you know, basically stating what they think their hair is, I'm like, the curl pattern chart is not really a real thing. You know, it's really hard to say if you are any specific pattern when we all have different textures, different porosity, even all the way down to coarse, fine, medium, all of that. It's like the curl pattern chart, it was just really a good way to manipulate us during the journey and monetize, and they did a really great job.
1000%. Because wasn't it? I don't even think it was a black person. It was like a white man or somebody who came out with it, right?
I think it was black. I think his name was Andre Kelly or something like that. I gotta look it up. I don't know if he was black or white though, but I think his name was Andre Kelly.
Do some research.
But it was just because I'm like, you cannot really relate your hair to the curl pattern chart without considering porosity, and there's no porosity level on that chart. So it's like, why did they push that agenda? But it worked like a charm, girl, because I tell you, they done made so much money off of it, and they're still making money off of it. It's getting ridiculous out here. So, but yeah, that's where I wish we could get mentally referring to our hair from that curl pattern chart. It's like, it's kinky coily, kinky curly, or wavy, loose wavy. Yeah. The texture is coarse, fine, medium, you know.
I'm very kinky coily.
Yeah. And then I got low porosity. Then it's like, oh, this is what I need to do for my hair based on all of this, and not just it's 4C, you know. Yeah. Because you'll even find a young lady whose hair is, you know, tighter than yours. So absolutely. 4D. You know, so it's like, when does this curl pattern, the letters and the numbers stop? You know? So it's like, just stop.
Maybe you should design a new chart.
Girl. Girl.
Let's design a new chart.
So, Nia, what were some of the things you hated about your hair?
The shrinkage.
That's what every kinky girl hates.
The absolute shrinkage.
So you love the texture. Did you love the texture? Did you kind of...
Oh, when I first started out, absolutely not.
Yeah. Come on. Walk us through
hated it. It was ugly to me.
What was your ideal of, like, nice?
I wanted my mama's curl pattern. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I wanted that. Like, I wanted that wave. Okay. Who's a celebrity right now that kind of is like, the texture is very similar to hers? Oh, some weave. Somebody, like, give us a visual. I would say Tracy Ellis Ross.
Oh wow. But something in
somewhere
there.
Around there.
Okay, yeah.
She had what they would consider good hair.
She do, especially if you from Louisiana. Yeah. Lordy have mercy. Yeah.
She would like kind of like the Tracy Ellis Ross. So literally, she looked like her hair patterns like seemed very biracial.
Gotcha.
It definitely gave biracial.
Why did you prefer that texture over your kinky curly hair?
As in now in my adult, because like I said, just the conversation around what good hair looks like
the aesthetic,
the aesthetic,
not necessarily like the maintenance and the upkeep.
Definitely the maintenance and the upkeep. Because let me tell you, as much as I'm still falling in love with it now, it's still very frustrating. I have to be very transparent. Like sometimes I'll walk around with just a mini fro until I go see Tiffany. Okay, because washing, conditioning, treating, all of that, attempting to blow dry. I literally just blow dried my hair for the first time.
It was so pretty.
Oh man,
and long,
very, very for the first time. And I get it done at the salon. I get it blown out, but I'm not the one doing it. Right? I would much rather pay somebody else to do I have no problem with that at all. Yeah, and I'm gonna tip you too, because listen, because if I gotta try to do it myself,
it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. All right. So yeah, trying to do my hair myself, it can still be very frustrating. Detangling my hair.
Because of your shrinkage too. Yeah.
Yes. So it's like the longer it gets, the thicker it gets. So I have high density
yes
hair.
You do
very high density hair, and it's very kinky, coily, and fine. So I need to be careful that I'm not damaging it or causing breakage and like being too rough with it.
Absolutely.
So I have to treat it like a baby.
Is this Tiffany educating you?
Girl,
telling you that?
Yeah.
Because she right on the money.
Yes, like ma'am. She explained to me, she was like, you have high density, but it's fine. And she would even ask me questions. She was like, so what was your hair like when it was relaxed? And I was just like, and I'll tell her some stuff. I was like, it was pretty much like bone straight. I could never have any body. And she was like, yeah.
That's why.
That is why. Yeah. And so we would, she would sit and educate me. And so, yeah, you need to work in small sections. And so literally the longer it gets, the thicker it gets. And so it takes more time. Like, you wash, like literally wash days a whole day now. Like literally it's a full day. I'm not planning nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing, because I have to wash. I have to clarify. Then I need to do I have a design essential shampoo that is like a conditioning shampoo and also puts in hydration. And I gotta go in and I need to detangle. And I put on like my little cholesterol or deep conditioning mask or whatever, and I let that sit. Then I have to rinse that, and then I gotta go and like kind of detangle a little bit and keep them in sections, and then either let it air dry or decide to blow dry. Now that is an option in my life, but every time I think about it, I think about how long it's gonna take. Or like put it in twist. I remember I've only done, I remember it took 8 hours one time to do micro twist on my hair.
Yeah, especially micro.
Like,
and on yourself?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you take any breaks?
It took me 2 days. I did it over a span of 2 days.
Yeah. You calculated the hours that you were
literally. I started like late at night the previous night, and then my best friend and we call it ourselves like a nuclear family, and we decided to her husband, my goddaughter, my husband decided we was gonna drive to San Antonio the next day. And I still needed to finish my hair, so
you had to finish your hair in the car.
Yeah, she helped me do it, so it was like 2 of us like doing a twist, and it was quite it. But then my first time doing, and they're so cute, but they take so long. When I was like, I love these micro twists. I could put them up, I can plait them so they can be wavy, and I wore them for my anniversary, my 2nd year anniversary, and they were really pretty. And people always like, you should just lock your hair, and I'm afraid that if I lock my hair, honestly, it's just gonna fall out. Let's be honest, because it's gonna get heavy, and my hair's already fine, and it can't really take too much weight on it. And I've learned that from braids.
Not. It depends on locks. Don't have to be heavy. It's a whole process it's more the products that people use that creates the weight in locks. They use those heavy creams, heavy gels, and you really don't supposed to use that stuff.
I believe it.
And it gets locked and trapped in there, and so it's creating the unnecessary weight. Because you really, if you use a foam wrap, or even if you just wanted to use some oil, you could definitely have locks and it wouldn't damage your hair. You just gotta know who to go to.
Maybe when I turn 40. Maybe when I turn 40, child. Because also I like.
You have some very beautiful locks though, because I always say the kinkier the texture, the better the locks look to me.
And I believe it.
Yeah.
I'm not committed. Really that's the only. I'm committed to my husband. Just not the locks.
I get it. It's okay.
Because I'm not. I'm not. That's just the one thing I'm not committed to at all. But yeah, those are some of the stuff I was mad about. Now it's just more frustrations, but I'm being more patient and I just be like, my hair gonna do what it want to do now. And
where does the frustration stem from today?
Girl, if it doesn't, it's not so much as bad as it used to be, but if it doesn't quite turn out right, like I mean, like I might be frustrated in a moment, like, oh, it didn't turn out. Okay, cool. My hair just gonna do whatever she want to do. Like I had to adapt that mentality.
Yes.
Because if not, girl, I'm just gonna be mad all the time,
upset, depressed.
I ain't got the time nor the energy.
Yeah. That's true. So, did you love anything about your hair during this time?
Yeah, I love the curl pattern.
Okay.
I love the curl pattern. I love how sneaky it is. Like now I'm like, you know what? They don't need to know how long my hair is. You know, like
and it's so great. Nobody would know how. Nobody would even think your hair was that long.
You couldn't guess it. If it was something on a trivia night, and you know how they like count how many jelly beans are in the jar. How long do you think her hair is?
They would never.
They would get it wrong.
Yeah.
Unless they understand what's
hair. Going on.
Yeah. I really love the curl pattern. When I get some gel to define it, I love it. And I actually love my hair when I'm washing it in the shower. And because it's long, because it's longer, so I'll be
because that water stretching and putting that weight on it.
I'll be in there whipping my head from side to side. I whip my head. Yes, I really do. And then when I get out, the fro itself is bigger, and then you can see like it dry
just
down.
Starts shrinking. Yeah, at least you know your hair is healthy, because shrinkage definitely means good health. Yeah,
and that I do love, and I am so grateful that Tiffany has educated me, because that was like one of the things she said. She was like, shrinkage means that your hair is healthy, and I'm just like, well, that is a win-win for me, because I don't want to be bald-headed. Okay, I don't want to give myself traction alopecia. I want my edges. I don't want any bald spot. Like I don't want none of it. My daddy bald-headed. But I know that it comes from it's your mom. They say it's based off your mom's side. So
like the maternal.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah.
Maternal grandmother. I think,
yeah. So I don't really have nothing to really worry about, but on my daddy's side, I have their texture.
Yeah.
But that's all I can say is I got their texture.
Did any of your siblings get your mom texture, or all of y'all have different textures?
We all have different textures.
Any of them kind of similar to hers at all?
I would say my brother, he had really nice, who is it? I'm trying to think. He had light-skinned people here, but he was also light-skinned.
What you call it? Light-skinned people? Girl.
Yeah, like the light-skinned guys that have their really nice wavy hair.
Like the mix.
Yeah.
Light-skinned guys.
Yeah.
I am done with you.
He did. He had really nice hair. Me and my sister have very similar textures. Her curl pattern is very similar to mine. I think hers is maybe just a slightly looser, maybe just a little bit looser, and her hair is thicker than mine, so I think hers a little bit more coarse than mine. And then my baby sister, no, she has they're tight ringlets, but not as tight as mine. They're pretty defined. You can see her curls. And her hair is thick, baby. I hate it for her. Okay. Yeah. I remember helping her do her hair as a kid. No, I hate it for her. But it's beautiful. Her fro, it is so dense. Her hair is highly dense. And it's really thick hair. It's pretty though. Yeah. Very, very pretty.
Okay.
See, had I had that, it's okay. I love my hair.
Yeah.
Now, but yeah.
Okay. So are there any other things that you love about your hair besides the curl pattern?
The curl pattern. I do like the fact that it is shockingly long, even though it doesn't look like it.
How sneaky it is.
It's very sneaky. It is. It's like, shh, secret. For real. Secret agent. Yes. No, for real. It gives me flexibility though. I feel like when it's in a short state, I look so much younger. I look young.
You think you feel like you look older when it's longer?
Maybe a little bit, just a little bit, not a lot, not too much. I mean, I already have a baby face, but
right, yeah. You have a young face, yeah. So I'm like, because when you showed me the blown out state, I'm like, you looked really young there for sure.
Probably, yeah. I think just my natural hair in general just ages me backwards. It's the grace of God. Okay,
I know that's right.
It's the grace of God.
Yes, indeed. Okay. So there was a lady that went viral on TikTok making a statement, black hair doesn't grow. Did you see that?
I did not.
She went crazy viral.
Girl, why you ain't send this to me?
I don't know. I wish I would have said, because it went so viral. I thought everybody saw it. And everybody was stitching the video.
I don't tick or talk that often, though. That's the problem. I don't. I get on there because I want to support, and I get on there because I need to post.
I don't tick or talk. I love it. I cannot.
And I love seeing your content and my friends, quote unquote, that little section that says friends with the people that I really support in the industry.
Oh yeah, down at the bottom. Yeah, you just kind of go on there.
So I go on there and I watch y'all stuff. And I may scroll, but I'm not I think I may visit TikTok maybe once every 2 weeks, or somebody sends something or something like that. And maybe not even that, and if no one sends anything, it's not on my radar to visit. That's just not the platform. Yeah. So unfortunate I did not see that. But that's unfortunate that she feels
I was gonna ask
way.
you, how do you feel about that statement?
False.
Yeah.
I feel false. I feel that it's misleading. I feel that it's discouraging for people that want to go on the journey. Is this a black lady?
Yeah, she black.
Is she natural?
She was wearing a wig. I'm not really sure.
So let's get into this real quick. So even with that, protective styles, do they really protect, right? And what is considered a protective style that encourages hair growth and length retention? Because that's it. Your hair is growing, but it may stay at the same length because you're not retaining said length. You are splitting ends. It's breakage. It's damage. So of course it ain't gonna look like it's gonna grow. It's just like a plant. Like it's right. It's just like a plant. Like you have to prune a plant. I'm a plant mom, so I understand that so much. And you have to. It's a fine balance of that. Like you know, taking care of the soil, taking care of making sure it's has sun and all these things. And so
proper moisture and hydration. Yes,
then you have to treat your hair the same way. So maybe she's natural, and for her protective style with air quotes is a wig, and essentially that's not helping. Let's be honest. The braids are good because it's low maintenance, but if you're not properly doing it, if you're not properly cleansing it, if you're not properly getting rid of the buildup, if you're not letting your hair breathe,
letting that scalp breathe,
baby. And then if you're using that glue, baby, you bald edge and bald head. Okay. I'm
so done.
I'm serious. Let's be honest.
Bald head and bald edge.
No, for real. Good. And then you can contribute to your own alopecia with the tight braids and stuff like that. No, absolutely not. And so with me, with my hair now, I'm very cautious about that because I'm more aware of it. You know, I'm always continuously learning, but I'm more aware of it. I'm more aware of my own hair and like what causes all this. I'm just like, well, I get braids, but not that often. I'll do this, but you know, not that often. I'm gonna do what I know is really working. So I think that's discouraging. Had I seen that video when I first started my journey, I think that would
have been messed up for you.
Messed up
because you would have believed her based on what you were going through. It was a terrible message to put out for sure.
It really was.
Yeah, but do you feel like it's harder for us to retain length opposed to other ethnicities or other textures as kinky girls?
Yes.
I agree with that. And maybe she probably should have said that.
Yes.
And not that everyone's hair is always growing unless you have a medical concern. But your hair is always growing. Yeah. What are you doing after it grows? Yep. So I do agree, like us agreeing, like it's harder for us to retain length, but our hair is going to grow.
Oh, it is. Yeah. You just have to know that your hair is my hair. I'm gonna speak for my hair.
Yeah,
my hair is super fragile.
Yes,
absolutely. No. You know what? We're not gonna say fragile because fragile is a negative. It has a negative concept. It's very delicate.
Let's say delicate and vulnerable. Yes. Yeah, very vulnerable.
And once you learn that about your hair, then you start to treat, think, and act differently when it comes to it.
Yep.
Because some girls can be really rough with their hair, and it's just be like, dang,
girl, you be watching them videos, you be like, child.
I could never. I could never. Okay.
Girl, you watching them videos like, she's just raking through that stuff.
Yes. Yeah. And that's not me. I can't use a fine tooth comb unless I'm parting.
Absolutely not.
I can't.
Your hair finger detangling more than anything. And once I get all those tangles away from each other,
you can take one of them unbrush me brushes.
Yes,
and that's about it.
That's it. But girl, no, you have to know the hair texture and how to respond to it for sure. You do. Yeah.
You do. That's unfortunate for her. Now you got to send me that video.
I'm definitely going to send you that video.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when you are at your networking events and you're trying to promote your business and gain clientele, and with Austin being predominantly white, these surroundings and areas tend to be predominantly white, and you're wearing your natural hair. How are you perceived?
That is a loaded question.
Let's get into it, girl. Come on.
That is a loaded question. I think it's a loaded question, but it's a very valuable question. So to start off, the fact that we are in a predominantly white city area and so forth,
yes,
it makes it all the more. I'm trying to think, like, how can I explain this? It makes it like a little bit more heightening, right? Like you're a lot more self-aware, and as a business, yes, a lot more self-aware.
Yes, yeah.
Where you come from, where you're not the minority, you're the majority, and then you move somewhere else, and you're the minority,
right?
Literally the minority.
It
makes a difference. It makes a difference. So, wearing my natural hair. So when I first started networking and establishing my business, establishing the brand, establishing the name, establishing the connections, I was so self-conscious about my natural hair that I covered it. I covered it a lot. Like I would wear.
How would you cover it?
Wigs.
Okay.
And not for the sake of being fun and creative, but really just for acceptance.
Really hiding your hair. What texture would the wig be?
Girl, straight.
Gotcha.
Straight. And then if I did do natural, I would do. I have these clip-ins that I absolutely love, but it would be like big curly, like to give like volume and length. On it. So it doesn't look like this 1.5 inch that it is now. So, or I would do head wraps. I would do head wraps. I would do a lot of like head wraps that mimic like a lot of the ones that you see in like the African pictures, like the really tall ones and stuff. So I would do head wraps and things like that. And you know, and I would occasionally wear it out, and then you get comments where a couple of them be like, "Oh my God, you look so cute," or you know, a lot of people will say, "Oh, I barely recognized you," or "Yeah, I wasn't recognizable," or "I look really young, I look like a kid," and you know, which is great, I guess. But I'm gonna touch on that. But I distinctly remember this one comment that a white lady told me. Someone that I was networking with, we were in a kind of like a breakout room or whatever. This is still during the pandemic, so this is over Zoom, but it was in another room, like we were in another little session or whatever. And she said to me, she was like, "Nia, I don't think there's anything wrong with your natural hair. I think it's beautiful, but I think you look better with long straight hair." And
the audacity,
the caucasity,
girl. Girl,
it's like I wouldn't call it a microaggression necessarily, because
that was aggression, honey.
That was aggression.
Nothing was micro. That was macro.
It was. It definitely was. And then to be said in front of other people was very disheartening. And I was just like, you know, and of course you have to kind of like brush it off because you don't want to become the stereotypical angry black woman.
Right. It's like you can't even advocate.
Yeah. It's
because really, if you do, you feel like you are being problematic.
Absolutely.
And they will make you feel like you're being problematic. 100%.
100%. So you have to be very, 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 very careful on how you choose to respond and how you choose to word. And like, because there was an opportunity to educate, but also that was a very jarring comment. So I was not in the headspace to educate. I automatically wanted to go into defense, but I went into the offense and was just like, oh, you know, like you know, just kind of laughed it off and kind of
like we normally do to keep the peace for them, not for us.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. So, and then, you know, back to the earlier comments, you know, saying like I look younger. That is true, but sometimes I feel like they say that so that way they can disarm themselves or feel good about themselves. Like I don't necessarily seem a threat, because it's not like they're not complimenting it. They're not complimenting my hair in a sense of like it's still very beautiful or anything like that. Like they're giving me like it's very childlike. So I'm not being looked at as a grown woman that's running a business. Yeah. And I'm just like, that's, you know, that could be a little problematic. So I've dealt with that. And so now I'm like, if you don't know what to say, it's okay to not say a damn thing. It is.
Like, why do you feel like you have to say something?
Because it's the lack of self-awareness. When you, and this is a little bit of soapbox, but when you go centuries and centuries and centuries of a group of people being able to say whatever to another group of people, and there's always repercussions. Like if we go back to slavery, like if you talk back to master, or if you, even when they were freed, if you talk back, like they would drive by and come and do something to your house, could pull your kids out, and so when you have that, it's like, it's just generations of something that's just ingrained in their DNA.
Yeah.
But we're being honest, because if we can pass down that trauma for 14 generations in our DNA, those same learned behaviors and things like that are passed down in yours. Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
Let's be honest, because like it don't go nowhere. It's being passed down.
Yeah.
But I just think that they just lack the self-awareness and the common courtesy and respect.
Right.
Because like me saying to somebody, I mean, this said person, you know, if I didn't think they look good in something, or if it wasn't flattering on their shape, maybe you should wear, you know, like, I think that looks gorgeous on you, but
I think
maybe
this looks more gorgeous.
Better. It's like more flattering on your figure, you know, and
it's like, why am I adjusting to make you feel comfortable?
Yeah.
I'm good, honey.
Yeah.
You just uncomfortable with my hair.
Yes. And I'm walking in that. I posted around New Year's. I think it was New Year's of this year. And I was like, I'm gonna be better about really just wearing my natural hair more out. And more post about my natural hair.
Right.
Like, and I think I've done quite a good job. And so now, even when I do slip into my wigs, it's really just to be fun.
Because you want to.
Yeah, it's for me. It's literally not for them. It's literally for me.
And that's a more freeing decision versus being trapped, feeling emotionally trapped and confined to put on the wig knowing you don't want to do it.
Yo, girl,
you know,
I want to be sexy for my man.
I know that's right.
I'm gonna turn into Tina tonight. Okay.
I cannot deal. Can you express the importance of diversity and representation in the beauty industry? Specifically for natural hair. Ooh. And especially with you being in the beauty industry, like expressing that diversity.
So the first thing first, I'm going to talk about the bridal industry and talk about the diversity there. Okay?
Come
on. Let me start with my own story. So
yeah, please. Yeah.
Me and my husband turned 3 this year.
Oh,
okay. Yes, we turned 3 this year. And for me, one of the things and one of the reasons I wanted to work with you for bridal, however, scheduling and all of that, whatever, was the fact of the lack of representation in the bridal industry for natural hair. And I wanted to honestly embrace everything about me on my day because I wanted to highlight the best parts of me, right? And do something that I didn't have to like put heat on my hair and stuff like that. And so I had sought Tiffany out at first, and she was like really, really busy, and she referred me to you. And I looked you up, and I don't honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember what happened. I don't know necessarily if it was a scheduling thing or not.
The girl, you killed it though.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was just like, we need more representation in the natural hair space for this, because when you go to Pinterest, you're not seeing, you don't see it.
It's always the loose textures, you know, and I'm speaking more for Black women. Like, it's really rare that you're going to see somebody embracing texture. Like, I'm telling you, I can count on my hands how many brides have inquired and they want to embrace texture in their hair for their wedding day. It's usually a weave that's like Brazilian wavy.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, they don't really want to tap into that.
Talk to the choir.
So I don't know.
Listen, and that was part of my thing. So when I realized that there was literally nobody here to do it outside of Tiffany, and then referring to, there was nobody. Yeah. And I was like, that's a problem, you know? Problem, and that is why I march and advocate so hard for it. So I love when a bride says, because I always tell them I specialize in heat-free natural styles, because we get to really allow your texture to shine. Right. And so I think that it is beautiful when a bride comes to me and be like, oh, I really want to wear my curly hair. Yes. And I'm always disappointed when someone has curly hair and they want to pull it,
make it loose. They want to loosen them curls.
They don't want it, baby. They want it straight. Yeah. They want to blow out. They want a silk press. And I'm just like, why? Like, because especially if you wear your hair like that all the time, like this. But then for this one
occasion, you want to pull your curls. Yep. All the time. Yes. It happens all the time.
So I think it's really important because what we're starting to see is social media is an influx of accessibility and the ages to the accessibility and exposure are becoming younger and younger. Yeah. And I think it is very important that we have that representation, because there could be somebody on the other side of that screen that looks like you. Mm-hmm. And if we are not careful, mm-hmm. we will not interrupt the cycle or the beauty standards and norms that have already been set centuries before us. Yeah. So we have to be mindful of that. We have to be mindful of the messages we put out when it comes to hair in the beauty industry, mm-hmm. As little black girls. Because I say it all the time when people say, well, what made you, what made you do this, and what got you into this, and why I'm so passionate about it in the bridal industry is because when our love stories were being told, like, this wasn't it. Yeah. This wasn't it. Now it's like everybody wants and I feel like us as a people, we're so uniquely beautiful. Let's embrace every aspect of that. Yeah. And so I'm starting to see a little bit more and more. There are a couple of hairstylists on Instagram that I do follow that will do kind of more on the natural side of things. And they'll, I seen this one hairstylist. She did it wasn't necessarily a Vixen crochet. No, she just crocheted maybe a square in the middle to give
some volume
for the pinup that she did, for the updo that she did. So it was still very kinky straight hair, and it was very textured.
Yeah, I just want to see some texture.
Yeah, and it was gorgeous. And I was like, I need more of this. I need more of this in my life. I need more of this in my field. And I think heavily that we should see more diversity in the hair texture space. Yeah. Especially for the quote unquote 4C girls, but the really kinky, coily girls, because I couldn't find nothing. I couldn't find an inspiration. No. Literally, I have one pin post, and she just had, at the time, the length of my hair wasn't gonna do what her hair was doing. Okay. And I think her hair is cut for this style. I feel like she probably just wears it in this really cute little short fro or whatever, and it was styled like that, and my hair wouldn't do that. Yeah. And that was about it. And I'm just like, we need more. We need more. Because if you go to if you try to source where the kinkier, coilier textures are, like if you look at the Nigerian weddings or the Ghanaian weddings, South Africa weddings, they're putting wigs on, and they have this hair. A lot of them have this hair, but they're wigs.
I've styled only one African woman's natural hair. The only thing I used was a cushion to create her chignon bun. That was it. But that was the only. I've done a lot of African weddings, especially being in the DMV, tons, and she was the only one. Well, I did an Ethiopian lady, but their texture is still very different.
Yeah, their texture is different.
And so, but those are the only two. Other than that, it's going to be a wig, it's going to be a frontal, it's going to be a sew-in, it's going to be added hair.
It's going to be something straight.
Yep.
Something straight.
Every time.
Every time.
Can you share a pivotal moment or experience that led you to accept your natural hair, or was it something gradually that happened?
I believe it's gradual. So I'm a daddy's girl.
That's good.
I love my daddy. We talk every day. Literally, he called me while I was here. We talk every day. He texts me every morning, and two things. But I have to attribute a lot of this to my dad first.
Okay.
He will make comments and he'll be like, what you doing with my hair? What we gonna do with my hair today? My hair, he took ownership of my hair. And it's the way he talked about it. He kind of, my daddy, when he talks about my hair, he coos over it in such a loving way. He was like, yeah, that's my hair, it's just so soft. It's he would say, it's soft like cotton and stuff like that.
That is soft texture. That texture you got is super soft.
Yes. And so he will be like, yeah, my hair. And again, my daddy bald headed. So
that really matters though for the dad to show up in that space that, because some black women have faced, the exact opposite, where their dad was not okay with it and would make terrible comments towards it. So that helps out a lot emotionally.
It does. And so the type of love and the bond that me and my daddy had, I hold his commentary to the highest esteem that it makes such a difference. People be like, oh, what we doing my hair today? Oh, our hair is pretty today. Well, you know, and just feeding those reaffirming positive comments, like those very loving comments.
And I'm getting chills.
Yeah. Yes. And then my husband also taking ownership, you know, like him also being patient. Like, cause he's seen me have a couple of breakdowns before. And he would like come and hug me and he will be like, well, babe, like, how can I help you? I love the moments of intimacy that are surrounded around my hair with me and my husband. He will scratch my scalp. He will shampoo my hair. He will help me detangle. He has even tried to like help me do like twists, like 2-strand twists and stuff. And so like, I'll just sit down and he'll like massage, like he'll like grease, that's, you know, the terminology, grease my scalp, and then like massage and moisturize. He loves playing in my hair, and he always makes the comments. He's like, you know, it's just me practicing for my future daughter. So that intimate space is in the bonding. Like, my husband loves my hair. My daddy loves my hair. And, you know, and they're here cheering me on as I continue to fall more in love with my hair.
It matters.
It does matter. It definitely matters. It definitely matters who's in your corner. It definitely matters who's in your ear when it comes to that. It definitely matters who's in your ear.
And who the feedback that's the most important are, you know, the people that are closer to you.
Yes.
You could be feeling so damn good about your hair, what you done to it, and that one person that mean everything to you questioning, and now you're questioning. It's like, you know, I was good before I saw you.
And I'm glad you said that. So I'm gonna take this back. When I was 18, I had a boyfriend at the time, and that was around the time I first went natural. 18 going on 19 or whatever, and I came home with it all cut off. And yeah, the reaction to that was so negative.
Yeah.
What
did he say?
I was called a little boy. I was laughed at.
Ex-boyfriend?
Yeah. Well, you know, exes examples of
that's
what you
right.
don't want.
Exactly. That's why he back there.
Yeah, way back. But yeah, he was just
nerve.
would make fun of it, and he was like, "Oh, you need to grow that back. You need to grow that back. I can't be intimate," is what I'm gonna say, with someone that looks like a boy, you know, and just stuff like that. And I was just like, okay, yeah,
horrible.
Yeah.
What advice would you give other young Black women who may be struggling with their natural hair?
First, I would say be patient, but I know that is easier said than done. Allow yourself. You're human. It's okay to feel however you feel. But the one thing I would definitely suggest is do not act on impulse based off those feelings. Don't do it.
You've made some impulsive decisions. You feel?
No. Maybe when I first, like, early 20s or something, yes. But now, no.
But you've thought about them,
yes,
so that's why you like, don't do it.
Yes, don't. And I know if I've thought about it, like being frustrated, I'm like, man, what if I just cut my hair off? I don't have to do this anymore, right? Like I can just cut it all off. And because it is a journey, it's quite literally a journey.
Yeah.
And so you need to lean into your humanity a little bit and understand that with the journey is going to come the ups and downs. It's going to come all types of emotions, and that's okay. And best practice that I could encourage is to do a hair journal. You can vlog it, write it down, take pictures, but just really so you can capture the moments in your journey. So, and that way, if you ever just look back over it, you can really have so much gratitude towards it. Because I'm so grateful for the journey and like of my hair now. Like I really am just so grateful. I 100% encourage that. And I encourage that if you see a space is needed, create it. Created. It's funny because before we started recording, I said that I had recorded me like blow dry my hair to review, and I had decided when I recorded that initially, I was like, I think it's not enough 4C representation. I'm gonna start something because it's not enough. It's not enough places to go and look for inspirations. It's not enough of anything for this. So where do we go to find, so create the space. And if you see that it's lacking, if you see it's not enough, even if you feel like it's oversaturated, child, it's a lot of bread in the on the bread.
It ain't never oversaturated.
So it's never. Okay. Because that's the case. Why we got so many grocery stores? So think of it like that. Like we have a lot of, like, there's a bunch of cars. All the cars do the same thing. They have to serve the same function, but there's a plethora of them. So don't think that your story doesn't count. Don't think that your voice is not worth being heard. Insert yourself boldly, beautifully, and be proud about that incision.
Absolutely.
And that's what I would recommend.
Yeah.
1,000%. Now, I wish I would have had somebody tell me this when I was in my 20s, but wisdom comes age, and age come not all the time.
And experience. You had to experience that in order to arrive there, you know, mentally. You know, and also learning how to do your hair. That helps. Once you learn what to do, it becomes a lot, you know, less challenging. You know,
it's like makeup. It's literally like that. Once you get your formula down, people always ask me, like, why? How can you do your makeup in 10 minutes? Because I know. I just know. Yeah. It's wash, rinse, repeat. So when you do that with hair and you get your formula down and you already know what's going to work and you don't have to go through all of this, you know the time, all of that. It's just a lot more easier to manage.
Yeah.
A lot more easier to manage.
Okay, Nia, thank you so much for coming on the Hair What I'm Saying show. We really appreciate your story. Please let our listeners know how we can all stay in connection with you.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Of course.
So you guys can follow me on Instagram at @iblessfaces_artistry. I'm also iblessfaces on TikTok, and I also have an iblessfaces beauty community on Facebook that you can join. And you can follow my Facebook page or send a friend request at Nia Ford. And if you're ever interested in wanting to learn more about makeup, because I am here to teach women to become the masters of their own glam. So if you ever want to learn how to do your makeup, or you ever have questions, you can always go to my website at www.iblessfacesartistry.com and join the subscription list to get the emails for the classes that we host. I believe those are all of my channels. If I'm missing any, I will let you know.
Yeah, we'll add them in the show notes.
Yes, absolutely. But for I would just love, just Instagram for sure. I'm there a lot. That's my medium there in Facebook, but I'd love to just create community. So if you want something that's a little more private, you can definitely join my Facebook community.
All right, girl. And that wraps up another enlightening episode of Hair What I'm Saying. A huge thank you to our guest Nia Ford for sharing her inspiring journey with us. Remember, your hair is a beautiful part of who you are, and embracing it is a powerful act of self-love. Join us next time for more insightful conversations about all things hair. I've been your host, Kenitra. Until next time, stay empowered and embrace your unique beauty.